This is the first Football Manager experiment I have made in 4 years, but it's actually 6 years since I regularly made this sort of content on YouTube. To anyone that hasn't watched me since back then, welcome back to the channel, and to anyone that's new, I hope you stick around. Now you might just want to skip ahead to the crux of this video, but before I get into it, I just wanted to say how proud I am of everything that I achieved on YouTube all those years ago. One aspect I am particularly proud of are the experiments. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I assume if you've clicked on this video, you enjoy this sort of Football Manager content, so I'm speaking to the right people. I was actually the first person to ever upload Football Manager experiments to YouTube. For many years, there had been people doing stuff on the editor and posting the results on forums, but I was the first person to bring this concept to YouTube. So many creators have taken that concept and grown it into something much bigger than I ever imagined it would be. And it's really great to see how it's evolved. Anyway, time to get on with the video. As you've probably guessed from the thumbnail and the title, I'm going to be moving Haaland and Salah to the three promoted clubs, the three recently promoted clubs to the Premier League: Leeds, Burnley, Sunderland. First up, we're going to move Haaland and Salah to Leeds and see how he gets on. And then we'll do Burnley, and lastly we'll do Sunderland. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to do something a bit more wacky in true Golden FM style. At school, in science, I was always taught that you have to repeat your experiments 3 times. So each of those experiments, I am going to repeat 3 times because, as you know, Football Manager experiments are extremely scientific. So I'm starting off with Leeds. I have moved Erling Haaland and Mohamed Salah to Leeds United. Of course, Haaland was born in Leeds. I don't know if that's going to have any impact on his performance here. So there we go, Haaland at Leeds, and Salah is just here. I've reduced their contract to £100,000 a week just so we don't bankrupt the 3 promoted clubs. It's still quite expensive for them. I think they still have all their goal bonuses and things, but it doesn't matter. We're only going to be holidaying 1 season and we're going to see what happens. So as I said, I'm going to holiday the first season 3 separate times to see what happens. Leeds managed to finish 10th. Not bad. Still got a minus goal difference, but they survived. That's the main thing. Burnley, Wolves and Brentford relegated in this particular simulation. There's Salah and Haaland, the 2 key players, of course, for Leeds this season. And Salah ended up with the highest average rating by quite a distance, 8.4. Haaland actually down in 4th place. So Salah got 18 goals and 9 assists. Haaland got 21 goals and 5 assists. That's in all competitions, of course. So let's just have a look at Salah. Apologies if this video is a bit rusty. I'm still trying to find my way around this game. It's a bit of a nightmare at times. So yeah, that's visualised quite nicely. Although that drop-down box is a bit annoying. But then again, that's just for the for AFCON. So that's why he missed a few Premier League games, I guess. I haven't stopped them from getting injuries, by the way. That happens in real life. I know this isn't real life, but still, I've not frozen injuries or anything like that. We're just going to see what happens in all of the simulations. So yeah, 14 goals and 8 assists in the Premier League for Salah. And let's have a look at Haaland. Here he is. And he managed to get 17 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League, but the average rating much lower. So for whatever reason, I guess because of the way the game works, it's favouring wingers. I think I did see something about dribbling being a big thing on FM26. And wingers getting very high ratings as a result. Palmer actually got the most goals this season, but if we just, can I click on this? Where can I find goals? So much clicking. So much clicking. There we go, goals. So yeah, Palmer 18, Haaland 17, and Salah, how many did he get? Oh, he got 14, yeah, 14 goals. And expected goals is interesting. So Haaland actually pretty much got his XG, didn't he? Where's assists? I find assists. Why is goals on here twice? Goals is also down here. This game is a bit of a mess at times. I can't find assists. I might be being a bit dim, but I just can't see it. There's assists. It's all the way down there. So Ødegaard with the most assists. Salah all the way down here. So that's simulation 1. Not a bad season for Leeds. Oh, in fact, I guess we should look to see how they get on in the other competitions. Is there an easy way to see that? Of course, it's taking forever to look. What is this? It's down here. I click on fixtures and it's... What? This is broken, isn't it? Okay, maybe I can click on here and see what happened in the FA Cup. Newcastle won it. So how far did Leeds get? Is there a way to easily see this? There probably is. Oh, semi-final. They got to semi-final and lost 2-1. Salah scored. So much clicking. Where's the there's the League Cup. Arsenal won it. If we go back, I don't want to go view stage. That's what I should be clicking on. Semi-final. How far did Leeds get? There we go. Quarter-final. Lost on penalties against the eventual finalists, Newcastle. Is there anything else we need to look at? I don't think so. Let's go on to simulation 2. I'll try and make these as snappy as possible. I'll do a bit of editing and cut a few things out, but I do still want to demonstrate how annoying it is to navigate this game. You might be watching this in the future and think, what's he going on about? FM26 is an absolute dream. But at the time of recording, I can tell you it is not. So Leeds finished 12th in the second season. Once again, a minus goal difference. Let's have a look to see who were the best performers. Salah, once again. This time, Haaland was second. 22 goals, actually improved on the first simulation. Actually, Salah, 10 goals and 6 assists. What is this average? Why is this average rating so high? It must be some, other actions that he's doing in matches to achieve that average rating. Because in terms of, 16 goal contributions in 31 games isn't bad, but that average rating is ridiculously high. And then if we look at Haaland, I suppose we should look at the other performing players in the team. So Pirro got 10 goals. Haaland managed to get 21 goals, as I said, all in the 22 goals in all competitions. He didn't play in the FA Cup, but he did play in the League Cup. So I'm guessing Leeds didn't do particularly well in these competitions. Let's just have a quick look at these, and we'll look at the stages. There's probably an easier way to go about this, but if we go back, Leeds lost in the 4th round against Sunderland, and if we go back to the FA Cup, they lost on penalties against Coventry, actually. So an early exit in this one. So not so good in this second simulation for Leeds. And finally, 14th. Not great. But still, they survived all 3 seasons thanks to Haaland and Salah. But I was expecting maybe a bit more. They had one top 10 finish, but that was just 10th. Sunderland relegated this year. Burnley actually finished higher in 10th. Wait a second, I didn't accidentally move. No, I didn't. I was thinking I didn't move them to the wrong club here. No, they're definitely at Leeds, Salah and Haaland, but Burnley finished above them. Despite that, Salah with 13 goals and 6 assists in all competitions. Fewer games, maybe an injury this year could have had an impact, and 20 goals and 3 assists for Haaland. But Daniel James with a higher rating than Haaland this year. But only 2 goals and 1 assist. Right, I think there's something about wingers here getting really high ratings. Let's look at Salah then. He got 13 goals in all competitions and 6 assists. Sorry, 13 goals in the league. But 13 goals in all competitions because he didn't score in the FA Cup or League Cup. So once again, it looks like a poor season for Leeds in the cup competitions. Haaland, didn't even play in the FA Cup. Interesting. Obviously the players around them just haven't been able to contribute enough. There's really not many goals and assists from the rest of these players, and the average ratings are quite poor. Let's just have a quick look at the Premier League in terms of the overall statistics. See, once again, Salah, highest average rating, and Haaland was the top goal scorer this year, with Saka getting the most assists. FA Cup, let's just see, I'm assuming it once again was a 3rd round exit for them. Oh, they actually got through to the 4th round, where they lost against Luton in League One. Oh dear. Finding this really hard to navigate. I don't know why. It wasn't the easiest thing to navigate on the old games, but I'm just struggling here. Where are Leeds? 3rd round. I guess they lost in that against Chelsea. I suppose the other thing to look at really is the fact that we've removed Salah and Haaland from their respective clubs. But Man City still managed to win the league this year. I can't remember who won the league in the first 2 simulations. I should have looked at that, sorry. I'm trying to be quite snappy with this and not ramble on too much, but there's so much you could look at, even from just these simple experiments where you move 2 players to a different club. It really can have an impact, a butterfly effect on other things going on. So, yeah, it didn't really have much of an impact on Man City in terms of winning the title. Marmoush was their top goal scorer. Bernardo Silva with 16 goals. Yeah, so they shared the goals around. These X's show that they didn't win it, so that's quite useful just to have a quick look. Liverpool, they won the Community Shield, but nothing else. So who was their top goal scorer? Isak with 24. I feel like Liverpool are in a position to be able to replace Salah a bit easier because they've got plenty of attackers. So do Man City, but I just feel like, I mean, as we've seen in real life, Haaland is just absolutely prolific for Man City and no one else is really scoring. Anyway, we will have a look at Man City and Liverpool a bit more in detail in the Burnley and Sunderland simulations as well. So this is the first Burnley simulation, and they actually finished 8th. Wow, 49 points. Liverpool won the league quite comfortably. In fact, Liverpool and Man City, easily the two best teams this season, despite the fact they don't have Haaland and Salah. I'm just going to have a quick look at Liverpool. So 26 goals for Isak there. Lots of goals shared around. Man City, who won the Champions League, despite having no Haaland. Bernardo Silva, top goal scorer again, playing as a right winger. I mean, wingers seem to be overpowered a bit, I must say. Just looking at this, I've not really played FM26 that much. Just from looking at this experiment, I can see that's the fact. So Burnley then, let's look at Salah and Haaland's performance. Top average rating once again, Salah with 11 goals and 12 assists. 20 goals for Haaland again and 3 assists. A quite similar performance actually for Leeds. I think Salah actually better though, certainly assists-wise I would say. Maybe a couple goals fewer than the average that we saw for him playing for Leeds. But yeah, not a bad season at all for Burnley, finishing 8th. So I don't think they've qualified for Europe these days though. I mean, there are that many teams qualifying for Europe from England, aren't there? So possibly Conference League. I just want to have a look to see how they got on the FA Cup. I'm just struggling to navigate my way around here. Where did Burnley get to? They lost against Brighton on penalties in the 5th round. And then the EFL Cup. It's just so much clicking. Was there this much clicking? They lost in the 3rd round against Man City. Was there this much clicking on FM24? I don't think there was. My hand's hurting. Okay, here we go. I can see that Burnley didn't qualify for Europe, but it's not exactly clear. I mean, the Conference League is mislabelled as red when it should be yellow. Obviously, relegation is red. So that's another issue I've just spotted during this experiment. Second simulation, 14th. So that is joint with Leeds as the lowest performance so far. 40 points. They've reached the magical 40 points total. All three promoted clubs survived this year. Sunderland up in the 11th despite not having Haaland and Salah. But I mean, to be fair, in real life they are way up the table without the likes of Salah and Haaland. And look at this, Haaland all the way down here, 7.09. Look at all these players with a much better average rating. Marcus Edwards up there. I mean, 1 goal and 3 assists in 40 appearances for an attacking midfielder, but a 7.3 average rating. What is going on there? But Haaland, once again, 20 goals. We didn't have a look to see if he was top goal scorer last year, but he was this year. And Salah with the highest average rating as well. Rodri, most assists for Man City. Liverpool won the league, by the way. Man City 3rd. So we are seeing Man City and Liverpool dominate the titles, despite the fact they are missing their their best player. And Haaland and Salah are keeping the promoted clubs up. Then again, I guess I should run a control experiment to see how often they get relegated generally anyway, but I can't be bothered, sorry. Here's Salah. Let's look at his stats for this year. Yeah, the average ratings are just so high. So FA Cup, Liverpool versus Man City in the final. Sunderland, what a season. They reached the FA Cup semi-final. Where did Burnley get to? They got knocked out by Sunderland in the 5th round. And EFL Cup boys, Liverpool won this as well on penalties against Villa. Burnley lost against Everton in the 3rd round. So we've not seen the promoted clubs so far do very well in the cup competitions. Burnley have qualified for Europe. They've qualified for the Champions League by finishing 5th. Incredible. This is what I wanted to see. They've done all right, Leeds and Burnley. They've survived all 3 seasons. We've seen top 10 finishes. But I wanted to see an incredible season, and Burnley have managed to get 63 points, long way behind fourth, but well ahead of Chelsea in sixth. Arsenal champions, by the way, so Man City and Liverpool not so good, but actually look at that. What a title race. Arsenal 84, Newcastle 84, and City 83 points. Let's go and look at Burnley then, because that's what we're here for. And Salah once again with a really good average rating, 12 goals and 10 assists. I don't think that was good as the last one. But Haaland, 20, does that say 29? My eyes. The game hurts my eyes as well. I should put my glasses on. 29 goals and 2 assists. That is 29. 26 in the Premier League alone, where he was the top goal scorer, as you'd expect, with 26 goals. Wow, what a season. And they were the two outstanding players with the highest average ratings, but Marcus Edwards was only just behind Haaland, actually. And other players contributing to the cause, but it really was mainly just Salah and Haaland, to be honest. I mean, in a year where Salah didn't go to AFCON, could Burnley have finished even higher? Maybe. Those five or six games that he missed could have been crucial. I guess he would have missed the ones in December. Oh, this is broken. I can't look at their fixtures. This is really annoying. So I can click through like this, but what good is that? That's just pointless. In fact, is it just showing the same thing in all the 3 little buttons? No, it's not. But still, I can't go all the way back to December. It's all muddled up as well. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's look at the FA Cup, where City won against Arsenal in the final. How far did Burnley get? Knocked out in the third round against Bristol City. I think maybe Salah was still at AFCON then as well. I can't really remember when AFCON is. EFL Cup, Spurs beat Palace in the final. Let's go back in time. They lost. Oh, they beat Villa in the third round, actually. And then they reached the quarter-final. Well, they lost against Palace. So Burnley was certainly better than Leeds. Let's see how Sunderland got on in this first simulation. They finished 10th, which I believe is the same as Leeds in their first simulation. Yes, I'm correct. Just looking at my notes. 50 points, and they got a positive goal difference as well. So that's nice. And let's have a look then at the performance of the players. Once again, Salah, far and away the best rating, 17 goals and 7 assists. Playing on that right wing for Sunderland. He's played on the right wing for everyone, of course. But Haaland all the way down here, but still an okay, well, decent 7.21, but only 18 goals this year. Salah got 17. We haven't seen Salah beat Haaland yet, but this is the closest we have seen him come. He didn't score in any of the cups. I'm guessing they didn't do very well in the cup competitions. Adingra and Thiago Fernandez above Haaland on this. And yeah, no, he didn't play in the cups either. So I'm guessing, I'm assuming Sunderland went out early. We're not even going to bother looking. I'm wasting my time. Mayenda had actually got higher rating. I suppose he was coming off the bench for Haaland quite a lot, but got 9 goals and 7 assists. That's not bad at all. Much more assists. And in terms of goal contributions, not far off Haaland at all. Xhaka also up there, as you'd expect. So how did Man City get on? And Liverpool. So yeah, once again the top 2, Man City and Liverpool. They didn't win anything else, I don't think. Liverpool won the Champions League. They beat PSG on penalties without Salah. Simulation 2 then. How did Sunderland get on? They finished 7th and somehow haven't qualified for Europe. I'm guessing because of the way the cup competitions fell. That's surprising. And yeah, only 4 places for Champions League as well. Burnley relegated, by the way. Leeds survived. So it's certainly not common. Have we seen 2 of the promoted clubs go down at the same time, in fact? I think we've only seen a maximum of 1, but I might be wrong. You can always look back at the video and let me know in the comments. Arsenal champions, 92, 15 points clear of Arsenal. Wow. Absolute domination from Liverpool. I'm just going to go and look at them quickly. Chiesa with he's playing instead of Salah. Wow. And he's got 7.79 average rating. This is what I'm talking about. The wingers are just overpowered. Anyway. Oh no, we're going wrong place. I want to look at Sunderland. Here we go. Salah once again top. No surprise there. And Haaland in 4th with 19 goals. He's not doing quite so well for Sunderland, is he? And he's not getting assists either, for whatever reason. 15 goals in the Premier League for Salah. Haaland scored all of his goals in the Premier League. He played one game in the EFL Cup, so I guess we'd better go and look. But I'm assuming they went out in the 1st or 2nd round, which will be the 3rd round. No, it'd be the 2nd round. What? This is the thing. I've not been looking at the 2nd round. They have been... Oh, they lost in the 2nd round against Wrexham. And FA Cup-wise, which Man United won, I'm assuming it's a 3rd round knockout against Grimsby. Haaland didn't... Did he play in that? I think he did play in that game because he made one appearance in the FA Cup, didn't he? So he lost against... No, it was in the EFL Cup. He didn't play in the FA Cup. And for the final time, let's have a look at Sunderland with Haaland and Salah. They finished 9th, so they have certainly been the most consistent. 10th, 7th and 9th. Leeds finished 10th, 12th and 14th. Burnley 8th, 14th and 5th. So Burnley overall had their highest finish with a 5th, but Sunderland all 3 seasons managed to finish top 10. That's interesting. Well, there we go. 9th this year, 56 points. Minus goal difference despite getting 56 points. Haven't managed to qualify for Europe. I wonder if they did qualify in that 2nd season. It's just not showing. There's a possibility. Anyway, let's go and look at the player statistics again. Haaland, this is a better year for Haaland. 21 goals. Salah with just 14, but once again, easily the highest average rating. There's a theme here. We'll have a look at the cups in a second after we've just looked at Salah, who didn't play as many games this year, but still had a phenomenal season and helped Sunderland finish in the top 10 again. Who won it, by the way? Man City. Sunderland lost in the FA Cup. 3rd round, 3-2 against Everton. And EFL Cup-wise, I keep clicking back and it just takes me to... I just get confused. Where's it taking me? I'm getting lost. Bournemouth won the... EFL Cup, by the way. Let's just go back to the 2nd round where they did beat Notts County to get through to the 3rd round, where I'm guessing they lost. Yeah, they lost on penalties against Norwich. So there we go. None of the promoted clubs managed to win a cup competition with Haaland and Salah, but we did see Burnley qualify for Europe, and Sunderland finished top 10 3 seasons in a row. But is that a surprise? In real life, they're doing really well. Then again, at the start of the game, I think all 3 clubs are predicted to get relegated according to the game, and that generally happens. I'm not sure what we've learned. It's just a bit of fun, really. Haaland and Salah at Sunderland, Burnley and Leeds. So at the start of this video, I did say that the last element of this experiment would have a bit more of a wacky approach. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to let you down, because FM26 has let me down. I'm sure most of you are aware there's been so many issues with Football Manager 26, and I seem to have found another one, because my plan for this last section was to clone Haaland and Salah and have 3 of them in total, 1 playing for Leeds, 1 playing for Sunderland and 1 playing for Burnley. So as you can see here, I have created Haaland and Salah, or duplicated them on the editor, removed the original Salah and Haaland, but you'll notice some big things here. First, I've changed the names. I had to do that because when I first duplicated the players on the pre-game editor, loaded up the game, their names were just blank. The players were there, but there was nothing in the first name or the surname field. Secondly, the attributes were randomised for each of them, all of them. None of them have the proper attributes of Haaland and Salah. So I went back to the pre-game editor and I tried again. I tried 3 times in total, just thinking maybe I've done something wrong. But same issues. So what I did in the end to get the names to actually appear, I added the club name to the surname field, and that seemed to solve the issue of the names. It wasn't blank, but I was still having the attribute issue. So I went back to the pre-game editor and I edited a random attribute. I decided to pick long throws. I increased it by 1 for each of them. But once again, all the attributes were just randomized when I loaded up a game. And I can't figure out a way. The only other thing I thought I could do was potentially use the in-game editor to edit all of the attributes, which would have taken forever. I started to, but it crashed. And I'd found this before when I had a play around with the in-game editor. It just crashed. The game crashed. Paid £7.49 for the in-game editor and it's not working. The pre-game editor's not working. Duplication function, the cloning function essentially, is not working. There's just so many issues with Football Manager 26, and this is another one. So I'm afraid we're not going to be able to see Haaland and Salah cloned at all three clubs and seeing what happens to the Premier League table as a result. I don't know where that's going to leave me for experiments going forwards. Hopefully things are fixed. I don't have much faith in Sports Interactive at the moment with all the issues going on, but I'm going to just have to try and keep some faith, I think, for now, that everything will be sorted, because I want to create content, I really do, but the game's going to have to improve for me to feel motivated to make content. I want to make experiments, I want to do live streams, I want to do whatever I fancy doing, but at the moment I just don't feel inspired by the game to do that. But thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the section that I was actually able to record and make. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. If you're an old viewer and you've returned and you aren't subscribed anymore, maybe consider resubscribing and perhaps hit that like button to boost my morale a bit. That would be nice. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Whoa, don't click away just yet, because I'm sure most of you would like to find out how Burnley got on in the Champions League in that season and that they managed to finish 5th in the league. Well, here we go. Champions League group stage. It's not the group stage anymore, it's the league phase. They managed to finish 18th with Haaland and Salah leading the line. 4 wins, 4 defeats. By the way, spotted something else that doesn't work. Used to be able to hover over this on FM24 and see those wins. This is just showing me random games, like in the league, I'm guessing. So that's broken. So we'll have to, I'm not sure how we can find out, because the fixture thing isn't working either. I don't know if there's a way to look at the fixtures on here. But anyway, let's go to see how they got on in the knockout playoff round. Did they win? Yes, they won. They won 3-1 on aggregate. That's how I read that anyway. So they beat Marseille to go through to the Champions League round of 16, where they lost against Roma. Oh, that's a shame. But that's amazing. What an amazing journey for Burnley, reaching the round of 16 of the Champions League, which was eventually won by Liverpool. But let's go and look at Burnley and see how they got on in the league this year with Salah and Haaland. By the way, no one bought Salah and Haaland. I didn't stop clubs from doing that. Oh, Fulkirk has retired. Random. Okay, so 10th place. So not as good as last year, but I suppose they were concentrating potentially on the Champions League in that first half of the season. 48 points. Man City won the league again without Haaland. Liverpool finished 3rd. And the top goal scorer was not Haaland, and the top average rating was not Salah for the first time, I think. So how did they get on? In fact, this is the first season Salah got below 8.0 average rating. Second season syndrome. Haaland did get 23 goals. How many did he score in the league compared to the Champions League? So 18 in the league. Once again, nothing in the FA Cup and EFL Cup for... where's the Champions League? Oh, it's at the top. 5 goals and 11 in 11 games. That's all right, I guess, with the players around him. I suppose we can have a look to see if they signed anyone with their Champions League money. Salah managed to get 4 goals. It's not letting me click on this. 4 goals and 3 assists in the Champions League. Pretty disappointing league campaign goals-wise, but once again, over an 8.0 average rating. EFL Cup, they did actually play 2 games in this, so I'm guessing they've got knocked out in the 4th round, as they were in Europe. So go to the 4th round. They beat Watford, actually, so they got to the quarterfinals, where they lost against Man United on penalties. There we go. Can I look at transfers? See, this is the thing, I can't navigate my way around this game and find what I'm wanting to find. They still had Kyle Walker, Still have Marcus Edwards. Is there any new players here? Xerxes. Okay, they signed Xerxes. So how do we see his history? Go to here. On loan. Can we go to loans? But what about just transfers? Can I see transfers anywhere? Transfer history. Here we go. So, this season, they signed Florentino Luis from Benfica. This guy from Brentford. Engels from Celtic. Balogun from Monaco. So, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire played in the Champions League for Burnley. He's a proper Burnley player, isn't he? 31 appearances. 7 times in the league, and 7 appearances in the Champions League. Amazing. And Edouard Mendy as well in goal. Wow, that's quite random too. Interesting. Well, there we go. Just thought I'd show you something else at the end of this video, because we didn't get to see Haaland and Salah cloned, but we did get to see Burnley in the Champions League with Salah and Haaland.